Hey, a very happy new year, and in this video, I am going to talk about all the achievements, learnings, my failures, and all my goals for the next year. Let me begin with a very interesting story which happened back in 2020. So in 2020, I was looking for a job. I was quitting one of the project which I was working on at the time of COVID. Luckily, I found a founder who I met, and I told him about my story, like how my journey has been in the past 7-8 years as a developer, as a founder. And I told him about my project, which was Blind Match. It was an anonymous dating app which I built, and at its peak it reached to almost like $3,000, generating like $3,000 per month. And I told him I abandoned that app because I was not fully motivated on the problem that app was solving. No matter it was making money, but I did not want it to involve more on that. Then listening to my story, he was a very like a veteran founder, and he did his engineering from IIT Kanpur back in like 1994, like just 4 years after I was born. So he told me, Divyanshu, like I think you have all the right ingredients, but you're missing a major part, which is consistency. Like all the things which you have mentioned, you have abandoned most of the things in the middle, because maybe you are seeking the next dopamine rush, or maybe you want something very quickly to happen. So he said, like, maybe I'm wrong, but you lack a little bit consistency. And that hit me. It's not the first time someone has given me a feedback which is not very positive, but that consistency, the thing, that hit me. So after that, consistency became a very integral part of whatever I do. Like I thought I will not abandon things very quickly. Like that would be my goal. Like I'll not quit something if I'm not getting initial results from it. So I started running. I used to run. I used to go to the gym, but I was not very consistent on it. I used to run like whenever I feel like running, and then I thought I'll run every day. Like no matter what, I'll make my goal like a weekly goal. I need to run these many kilometers. I'll make my monthly goal. I need to run these many kilometers, and I'll also set a big target which I want to achieve. Back then, that target was running a full marathon. I used to run like 1 or 2 kilometers a day max, and I wanted to increase it to 5 kilometers a day, and weekly I wanted to run around 20 to 25 kilometers. That was the goal I set back in 2021. Now, if I go back to my Strava, which is the app I use to track all my runs, I have been running almost every day 5 kilometers daily. And this year in 2024, why I'm sharing this story is because that consistency paid off. And finally, this is my medal. This is for the Tata Mumbai Marathon. I ran my first full marathon, which I completed, and I'm super proud of it. And I also got another, like whenever you finish a Tata Mumbai Marathon, they give you 2 medals. One is for you and another for the person who inspired you to finish this marathon. So one of my friend who ran this marathon, I think back in 2016, I was not running. I was not doing any physical activity in 2016, and he was running a marathon, and that was the day I got super inspired that, okay, I'll also do a marathon. And after 8 years, I completed this in 2024. So this is one of the biggest achievement for me in this year. So this is about the physical achievement which I did and completed in 2024. I would say this was the best highlight of this year. The second thing which I started incorporating in my life was mental health. I had this tendency of getting too much anxiety on things, too much thinking on topics or things. Sometimes the thoughts became so violent in my head that I couldn't even sleep properly, and I have this tendency to get FOMO, like fear of missing out. As this has been the year of AI, I felt like every single new news was exciting me. Okay, maybe I'm not reading the trendy newses, I'm not in trend, what is happening, maybe I will left behind. And this anxiety was keep on building on me, and I discussed this with a lot of my friends, a lot of people who I admire, and most of them or I also started reading a couple of more books on this domain, and I found out like meditation is something as a generic advice is given by everyone, but I started it. I felt a very positive effects of it. I am doing it 20 minutes a day. On and off, I was doing it for last 6-7 months now, but this year I'm planning it as a regular habit. Like I'll make a streak of 60 days or 80 days constant 20 minutes of meditation, and to be honest, I have felt great changes in me. I felt how quickly I can see my thoughts whenever they are wandering or they are rapidly escalating into different domain, or either it could be anger, or it could be sadness, or it could be this rush of doing new things. I can calm myself now much better. And this is not just meditation. I have also incorporated like mindfulness activities. One of the thing, whenever I feel like anxiety or some thoughts rushing in, I just, to calm myself, what I do, I first of all acknowledging that is happening, and second is start reverse counting. Like I start counting from 25 to 0 in a very slow pace. It could take a minute to do that, and I do that intentionally. I have forced it intentionally. Now it became quite a good habit, so I can, at any moment, I can feel like calm and de-stress myself. Another thing is on the same domain, on the mental health, is whenever I feel like a rush of emotions, or rush of emotions heightening or lowering, I watch leaves. Like I was reading in one of the book, and in that book they mentioned whenever you feel out of touch from this reality, just go and see the speed of nature. And the speed of nature can be visualized by looking at how the leaves are blowing in the mild air, or how the insects are roaming around. That is the nature's speed, and that's what we are evolved to observe and maintain our speed accordingly. Like that's a relative speed which we can go with, because since the digital age, things are moving so fast. With the USB drive or with the internet connection, you get into this 100 Gbps connections where data can transfer so quickly. Humans are not capable of that much of a speed, so this disconnect sometimes can create an anxiety as well. So what I did, I go outside whenever I feel there's a small balcony outside. I just watch outside, watching the clouds, watching the plants, and even going outside in the evening, watching the sunset. These are the things which make me slow, make me less stressed, less anxiety prone, and I feel like, okay, I'm part of this nature, and things are going very at the pace in which they were supposed to. So I'm not lagging behind, I'm not rushing ahead, I'm where I'm supposed to be. This has helped immensely in my mental health this year. So these are the two achievements which I wanted to share. Another big achievement was making these videos. I started doing it, I think 7 or 8 months back, and so far when the day I started, I have a screenshot of it. I had 400 subscribers, 405 subscribers, and at this point we are almost close to having 4,000 subscribers. That's like a 10x gain in a very short span of time. Couple of videos did very well. My aim was to publish one video a week. I was always planning to push more, but again, watching at the nature's speed, one video a week was a constant thing which happened. And the final and the one of the best achievement I did was creating my own AI apps. I worked on, like, there were a lot of failures which we will get to it in a while, but one of the thing which happened, which was I started to create a template for my AI apps which I wanted to do in this year, and I published almost 4 apps in App Store. One of the web app which is still not live, but yeah, the whole template system, the backend template, the server template, and the database template, all of these things were done. So now it becomes much easier for me to come up with ideas or just to make them live publicly. Overall, these were some of the biggest achievements which I had this year. Now, it's not all fun and games here like this. There are some bugs and crashes, which is like the failures which I faced this year. So in the starting of this year, I started working with, I was getting paid to work on that app. Plus I was the sole founder as well. I had some equity on that product. So we started working on it. After working 7 or 8 months alone on one product, which was a Mac app, I had created some videos about it as well. It went into the dustbin. Like, we just completely stopped working on it because first of all, it was taking too much engineering effort for just a single person to work on it. It was just not just a Mac app, it was a web app, Mac app, and the server. They were like 3 big pieces which needs to be tied up together, and it was at a point where we did not even launch an MVP because the team was thinking we should have a very, very clean and crisp product to share with the audience. And I was thinking we should be iterating while sharing the first version of the app by taking users' feedback. So we had some conflict of like how we were visualizing the product and thought, and that was one of the failure. Like, I spent a lot of time on it, more than like 10 hours a day almost. I was working on it. A lot of engineering went into baking that product, but in the end that product is just live on my machine. Another tweak on my OS software upgrade is time management. I picked up a lot of habits. Like I started learning trading this year. I started doing running. I started doing workouts, meditation, coding, making YouTube videos, putting on socials. So I was doing a lot of juggling with a lot of these time taking activities, but my time management was not at place. And sometimes I felt like, because when you have to do so many things, sometimes you have to, like, you go into this procrastination zone because your mind is not ready for what is the next thing you're going to pick. So this is one of the failure I felt, because I could have done more with if I had a proper time management. The unexpected crashes which happened this year was one of the leg injury which I got in my leg. It was called plantar fasciitis. Whenever I never thought, like, while running I can get an injury, but that's the thing with injuries. Like, you once you get them, then you understand how impactful they are, and that is something which put my timing or running a bit behind, because it took me almost 2 weeks to recover from it. Second thing is, I got sick 2 times this year. I don't know, like mostly after running, because my immunity was down after run and I got cold, and it took me more time this time to recover from it, like almost 1 or 2 weeks to completely recover and get ready to move on in my life. So patch notes, like what are the updates which are happening in the coming year? One thing is consistency. That will be there for sure, and with consistency, the things which I've been doing, I'm not going to pick anything new. I'll just continue what worked for me in 2024 and will just scale it up. That's what startups do. They find what is working for them and they just scale it up. That's what I'm going to do with my life as well. So running, I'll continue doing that. I do not have any plan to run any big marathon this year, but I'll consistently be running. Another thing which I'm planning to do is a better time management. I am planning to have some dedicated hours using better planning tools to manage my time. Saying a lot of no is one of the things. Like, I find myself in situations which were just to make sure like others are not offended by me. So I used to say a lot of yeses. Okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. Okay, I'm ready for this call, or I'm ready for this meeting. So I'm thinking I would be saying a lot of no's. But it's a very tough situation, because if you say a lot of no to everyone, then you become like a person who is very negative and always say no. So I'll have to find a good balance. But yeah, definitely not saying yes to a lot of activities this year. Another is collaboration. What I'm going to do is I'll be meeting a lot of like-minded people. I want to increase my network of people who are either in the same domain where I am, or people who are into the same productivity zones, or learning to improve their health, or learning to improve their productivity, or creative. I want to make a circle of people to hang out with, online or offline, and I want to dedicatedly put some effort on this domain as well. Now, about mental health, what are the things which I'm going to do is, one of the things which is in my bucket list for a long time is doing some solo retreats, where I'll be going solo by myself on like 5 to 10 days, and spending time with myself, or meeting new people, or hanging out in like places which are not very comfortable for me. This is just to go alone and find my place in this world, traveling alone, like without any company. It's very uncomfortable for me being an introvert myself, but I want to push this domain to grow into a better version of me. Another thing for my mental health is setting some realistic goals. I have found myself setting very unrealistic goals and then failing on them, then feeling sad about that. So I would be setting very realistic goals, not very low, not very high, in the middle. I have good data from my last year, so I'll be using that to set the goals for this year. Now, the new year, the new features which are coming in this OS, the new roadmap which I'm setting for myself. So one of the number one goal for this year is launching 10 apps in 2025. These are the brand new apps which I will publish. The idea is to create 10 quality apps, and which are solving one critical problem, which I myself will be using, not just for the audience. And I'll be investing time on building these apps. Another goal which I'm setting, or for myself, is creating 100 videos on YouTube. This year I tried to do like 3 or 4 videos a month, but I have to increase it. it takes a lot of time, but now I have a good framework, what kind of videos are working, what kind of videos you guys want to watch, how to edit them. I'm pretty fast on that, so I think it's time to scale it up. So I'm planning to launch 2 videos a week. So there are 52 weeks in a year. It would be like 104 videos if I do it 2 videos per week, or maybe more. So 100 is the minimum threshold which I'm giving to myself. Now this one is very favorite of mine, and it's a bit uncomfortable as well. Meeting 100 people for 100 coffees. This is a project, a very dedicated project I'm building. I want to meet 100 different people, not entirely different, like-minded, who are doing something different in their own domains, from who would be interested meeting me, and I wanted to meet them and chat, have 100 coffees. So this is something I want to put extra hours from my side. The third thing which I have done in the past year a little bit, and I felt very good about it, and that is donating food and donating all time. So this year I want to dedicatedly put 100 hours for it. I want to put 100 hours on either a physical labor activity, maybe a cleaning a place, or taking care of some animals, or going to a place where we can feed some animal, or maybe teach some unprivileged kids, teach about AI online. So I want to start this project as well, and I'm very passionate about it. I want to definitely do it, because this is a thing which I really feel good. Whenever I do these kind of acts, the end product is not money, but it's a feeling of happiness which you get after doing this, and it makes me, I don't know, I can't explain this in this video, but it makes me feel something different, and I want to do it more often this year. So that's why this is one of the projects. The other thing for the new feature is doing 365 days of constant meditation. I was planning to do it for 60 days or 80 days in a row, but I don't think sitting 15 minutes or 20 minutes, even if I'm sick or even if I'm traveling, is that big of a task, because I have made a good habit of doing it. So I'm planning to do 365 days constant 15 to 20 minutes of meditation. Now to track this, I'm using an app which is called Habit Kit. I have mentioned it in one of my old videos. I have created a widget of it, and I'll be updating almost every week about that in my videos. The final thing is I want to travel a different country this year. One of the country where I've already applied for a visa is Japan. I want to go there, spend 1 month living in that country. The timeline is not set yet, but I'm thinking somewhere around March or April I would be planning that. Or yeah, that's about it. That's all the features which are coming in the next version of Divyanshu OS 2025. And yeah, I wish you all a very happy new year, and I hope this video was helpful to know about what's coming, what are the things I have learned, and I would love to know what are your resolutions for 2025. And again, a very happy new year. Thank you for watching this video. If you have not subscribed, please do that, or like this video. Do comment your feedback on this as well. I would be happy to know a little bit about how I'm doing here in these videos. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.